Hi, and welcome back to Hello CISO. In part 1, we talked about the security mindset and why it's so important to hire people from a diverse background. We talked about hot wiring of cars as an example, and the second order effects or law of unintended consequences that may occur as a result. Let's pick it up right there and talk about why it's so important to have people who understand human behaviour on your team. Attackers definitely see value in understanding human behaviours. This is why social engineering features so much in cybersecurity incidents. They know that if they can catch someone at 4:30 on a Friday afternoon, that person is much more likely to be in a hurry to get home to their family and do things they might not normally do. They know if they can impersonate the CEO, people are more likely to be compliant. And they also know if they can create fear, uncertainty and doubt, people will behave in ways that they wouldn't normally do. Further to that, they understand reciprocity. If they can do you a little favour, you being the victim, you might do things for them that you wouldn't normally do. Perhaps you might hand over a password that you would have thought much more carefully about had you not felt like you owed them a favour. Cultivating a team of diverse mindsets gives you more people who can think in more different ways to help thwart the efforts of attackers that are targeting human behaviours. But of course, if you're already hiring people from diverse backgrounds, diversity of thought will naturally follow. But the thread that should run through all your hires is the security mindset. Easier said than done, right? Let's talk about how to get there. The first step here is to get good at identifying the security mindset, at identifying security talent. Now, who better to do that than your existing security team? And you can see where this is going. Involve them in the process. One of the most common mistakes I see in InfoSec, and inevitably in the broader technology community as well, is to prioritize certifications, degrees, formal education over experience. This is not the industry for that. This is an industry where people come from all sorts of different backgrounds, often through side doors that don't align to our traditional forms of education. Simply having paperwork doesn't mean that people have the right mindset. Now that said, there is value to degrees and certifications, if for no other reason than it does show dedication. These people have made the commitment to study and achieve a result. But do they have the mindset? Are they passionate about this industry? Do they have the curiosity I mentioned before, where they want to pull things apart? Do they have the foresight? Can they see what's coming down the wire in a year, 5 years, 10 years? Those capabilities, those insights, are not things that you're going to get merely from doing a course. Including your security folks in interviewing these people and finding their fit for the role also helps ensure you find a good fit for your team and you find diverse talent that's complementary to the talent that you already have. Involve your people in the process. One thing you can do to begin with is to think carefully about how you prioritize the requirements for the job role. Very often, formal education is up the top. Now, also very often, when you start to involve your security team in the discussion about how to prioritize skills, the necessity for formal education gets dropped because the people around you know that that really isn't something that should be mandated, not for this sort of role in this day and age. Your team almost certainly knows that how someone thinks is actually much more valuable than whether or not they have a certification on the wall. Smaller companies tend to have an advantage here because often, by necessity, it is the security team that's doing the interview and not the HR folks that are much more interested in the formalities than what probably you or I would be. To that effect, larger companies may find that a more difficult challenge, but it is a challenge worth addressing because this is the sort of thing that's going to help get you that top tier talent. Particularly in this industry, there are so many really successful top professionals that, had they gone through the traditional formal HR processes and had to meet the criteria of things like formal education, may never have arrived here. They might excel at coding or hacking or defending, and if you put them behind a keyboard, they're sensational. So you see how they have this very, very interesting, unique, diverse skill set. But in an interview scenario, they'd come across very differently to people who may be stronger communicators. So we're back again, not only to diversity, but to the importance of people in your security team being able to interview these folks and understand what their actual strengths and capabilities are. One thing that I've always been very passionate about is the ability for people to independently demonstrate their capabilities, particularly in this day and age when so many of us have so much information that we put online. There are many other ways of assessing how well a candidate might fit into your team and indeed how competent the candidate is. Have they ever done a talk publicly, been involved in a user group, answered questions on Stack Overflow or the Security Stack Exchange website? Have they put code on GitHub? Many of these activities are things that you can find online. And very often these days, people do have a very active digital paper trail. It's something that you can independently, as a potential employer, go and investigate and assess for yourself. Are these people passionate? Do they have the security mindset? Have they been doing this for as long as they say they have? One last thought on this. Referrals. If you can get a nice warm referral from someone you trust, someone that they've worked with personally in the past, that can be a great way of reducing the risk of hiring new talent. But be cautious also, because you might find that referrals are just replicating exactly the same people that you have already. That may not help you reach that diversity goal that we've just spoken about, the one that's so important to building a robust team with a security mindset. You won't always have the luxury of taking a chance on people, but if you can build in some risk tolerance, it's likely to pay off in spades. That's it for this episode of Hello CISO. Thank you very much for watching. Do hit the like button and make sure you subscribe, then you'll be notified as soon as that final episode of Hello CISO lands. I'm Troy Hunt. See you next time. If you've enjoyed this video as part of the Hello CISO series, then please give it a like and subscribe to the 1Password YouTube channel for more videos like this.